Tacit. Expressed without words. I interpreted my parents' refusal to talk as a tacit acceptance of my request. Taciturn. Not inclined to talk. Though Jane never seems to stop talking, her brother is quite taciturn. Tangential. Incidental, peripheral, divergent. I tried to discuss my salary, but the boss kept veering off into tangential topics. Tantamount. Equivalent in value or significance. When it comes to sports, fearing your opponent is tantamount to losing. Tedious. Dull, boring. As time passed and the history professor continued to drone on and on, the lecture became increasingly tedious. Temerity. Audacity, recklessness. Tom and Huck entered the scary cave armed with nothing but their own temerity. Temperance. Moderation in action or thought. Maintaining temperance will ensure that you are able to think rationally and objectively. Tenable. Able to be defended or maintained. The department heads tore down the arguments in other people's theses, but Johari's work proved to be quite tenable. Tenuous. Having little substance or strength. Your argument is very tenuous, since it relies so much on speculation and hearsay. Terrestrial. Relating to the land. Elephants are terrestrial animals. Timorous. Timid, fearful. When dealing with the unknown, timorous Tallulah almost always broke into tears. Tirade. A long speech marked by harsh or biting language. Every time Jessica was late, her boyfriend went into a long tirade about punctuality. Toady. One who flatters in the hope of gaining favors. The other kids referred to the teacher's pet as the 10th grade toady. Tome. A large book. In college, I used to carry around an anatomy book that was the heaviest tome in my bag. Torpid. Lethargic, dormant, lacking motion. The torpid whale floated, wallowing in the water for hours. Torrid. Giving off intense heat, passionate. I didn't want to witness the neighbor's torrid affair through the window. Tortuous. Winding. The scary thing about driving in mountains are the narrow, tortuous roads. Tractable. Easily controlled. The horse was so tractable, Myra didn't even need a bridle. Tranquil. Calm. There is a time of night when nothing moves and everything is tranquil. Transgress. To violate, go over a limit. The criminal's actions transgressed morality and human decency. Transient. Passing through briefly, passing into and out of existence. Because virtually everyone in Palm Beach is a tourist, the population of the town is quite transient. Transmute. To change or alter in form. Ancient alchemists believed that it was possible to transmute lead into gold. Travesty. A grossly inferior imitation. According to the school newspaper's merciless theater critic, Pacific Coast High's rendition of the musical Oklahoma was a travesty of the original. Tremulous. Fearful. I always feel a trifle tremulous when walking through a graveyard. Trenchant. Effective, articulate, clear-cut. The directions that accompanied my new cell phone were trenchant and easy to follow. Trepidation. Fear, apprehension. Feeling great trepidation, Anya refused to jump into the pool because she thought she saw a shark in it. Trite. Not original, overused. Keith thought of himself as being very learned, but everyone else thought he was trite because his observations about the world were always the same as David Letterman's. Truculent. Ready to fight, cruel. This club doesn't really attract the dangerous types, so why was that bouncer being so truculent? Truncate. To shorten by cutting off. After winning the Derby, The jockey truncated the long speech he had planned and thanked only his mom and his horse. Turgid. Swollen, excessively embellished in style or language. The haughty writer did not realize how we all really felt about his turgid prose. Turpitude. Depravity, moral corruption. Sir Marcus's chivalry often contrasted with the turpitude he exhibited with the ladies at the tavern. Ubiquitous. Existing everywhere, widespread. It seems that everyone in the United States has a television. The technology is ubiquitous here. Umbrage. Resentment, offense. He called me a lily-livered coward, and I took umbrage at the insult. Uncanny. Of supernatural character or origin. Luca had an uncanny ability to know exactly what other people were thinking. She also had an uncanny ability to shoot fireballs from her hands. Unctuous. Smooth or greasy in texture, appearance, manner. The unctuous receptionist seemed untrustworthy, as if she was only being helpful because she thought we might give her a big tip. Undulate. To move in waves. As the storm began to brew, the placid ocean began to undulate to an increasing degree. Upbraid. To criticize or scold severely. The last thing Lindsay wanted was for Lisa to upbraid her again about missing the rent payment. Usurp. To seize by force, take possession of without right. The rogue army general tried to usurp control of the government, but he failed because most of the army backed the legally elected president. Utilitarian. Relating to or aiming at usefulness. The beautiful, fragile vase couldn't hold flowers or serve any other utilitarian purpose. Utopia. An imaginary and remote place of perfection. Everyone in the world wants to live in a utopia, but no one can agree how to go about building one.